Hey guys, this is Cruz Roy. I wanted to do a little project with the Exceed RC radio. It's got standard batteries, but it seems to be a battery hog. So I wanted to change the batteries to a lipo that you could charge and use. So I picked this up at Hobby King. It's a 1450 Turnigy, but it has a Futaba and a JP connector, so I need to get one of these connectors into the radio. I did find a servo extension wire, so that'll work perfect because it's got the female end. I just got to dislocate the wires I don't need, and what I want to do is I want to keep the original so it can still use the battery pack, and it can use batteries as well if you wanted to. So I got the battery. You need some cutters to cut the wire. We'll need something to strip the wire. Soldering iron, pencil soldering iron. Some solder, of course. I got my little sponge and just a Phillips screwdriver, and that's just a magnet to hold the screws. Okay, so now the first thing you need to do is open up the battery case and take out the batteries. Off they go. Alright. So, now the Turnigy works out pretty good. A lot smaller than the hole and thinner, so it works out perfect. And it's only 11.1 volts. You got to charge it on the storage side, I guess. If you go too high, they say it's bad for the transmitters. So now, let's open up the transmitter. I can actually see the wires. There's the positive, and there's the negative, but if I try to solder, the wire's just going to fall off the clip, and we'll have a little problem there. So what I'm going to do is take the transmitter apart, make my life a little easier. Yeah. So on this particular transmitter, I think there's believe it or not, only 4 screws holding the back plate on. It's a good little transmitter for a cheap transmitter. It's just a real big battery hog, so I want to try this battery pack to see if it's not if the lipo lasts a lot longer. Try to get her come open here. Alright. Alright, now, as you can see, fairly simple. The 2 wires I need are right there. So let me move the camera a little bit. The 2 wires are right here. I mean, all I need to do is solder right into them there. And that'll work, you know. Alright, so battery, make sure I got the screws close by. Alright, like I said, the battery has I think it's a JD or JP connector and a Futaba. This is your balance charger, so you don't want to use that. So I'm going to use the Futaba. and use this female end that I had as an extension. Alright, now I'm just going to cut. It's a full extension, so I'm just going to cut the wire off, give myself a little bit for now. And I can always use this other end here, save it if I need it for a servo or something. Also, you'll notice that you got to match up your positive negative. The Futaba connector on the battery, it's red and black, and when you connect it, it's actually red and brown on the extension. So we need the red and brown. The orange I do not need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it out of there so it doesn't cause problems in the future by splitting the wire. Pull it right down to here and just give it a tug. Clean it up by cutting it off. Alright, so now I'm only left with the two. Alright, so the first thing we got to do, I got to snip this again. Snip that right there. Let me get it. Got the other one fine. This one's being a pain. Get them so you can separate the wires. A knife would work better. I just don't have one right with me right at the moment. Alright, that's not breaking the way I want it to. Alright, I'm gonna get a knife. Okay, that's stupid. Down at the end here, the wires are separated a little bit. So just grab them from there and you can peel them apart so you don't make a mess of the wires. Alright, so there's our end. We got our two wires. What you need to do so you don't screw up the polarity is red is positive on the orange type wires for Futaba. The brown is black. Alright, so now in here we have to place each wire through the hole here. Okay, I put it wrong, sorry. Brown is to the left, red is to the right. We'll drop it down. Grab the two wires. Alright. So now, what I want to do is, I want to cut into this red wire. I'm going to cut into this red wire. Good right there. Alright. Now, I use a little heat to take off the ends. Poor man's wire stripper. Okay, now what we need is a piece of shrink tubing. Got a little piece, I'd say about an inch or so. And we're going to roll it on this wire here. And what we'll do is tie up the 3 wires together. Tie the 3 wires together. Now this is where the soldering iron comes in. You really should solder any of your connections, especially with lipo batteries. They're pretty strong as it is. So that's where you come in with this soldering iron. Oop.